not just the EU that's been reported on
Oh yeah, of course.
about
Yeah.
such things. So, for example, here we have like
Scandalous.
NATO, and
Yes.
like
So
people are
NATO's in the
like,
crosshairs, literally,
yeah,
by Belgian
seriously,
authorities because they've been up to no good, which makes you again wonder like who's telling the truth here or there, like who to trust, you know?
yeah, it's
Nothing is
over
black and
here.
white, people. Nothing is black and white, like I've been saying. And it doesn't matter what one source says or the other. So right now, guess what NATO's been up to?
Do you
Well,
know
it
why?
looks. Mhm. Do I know what?
Just an observation. Do you know why they write their name the other way around? OTAN
I
underneath
think that's
NATO.
I think that's the French
Oh, okay.
abbreviation. It basically means OTAN is the um, in French we say
Anyway,
OTAN
yeah.
because it commonly, yeah, that's the French and Portuguese and Spanish acronym for NATO, which
Okay.
um, I'm trying to find the
The,
Organisation Transatlantique.
the letters are always
That's
mixed
what
up.
that's what it
It's like
refers to.
AIDS is SIDA in French. I'm just like, saying that
So
they're using the
it's
same letters, but the other way around.
yeah. So basically, it's Organisation
Transatlantique
Transatlantique.
Nord,
I
North,
guess,
maybe.
yeah.
Okay.
I guess North, yeah. North for
Okay.
North. So it's the North Atlantic Alliance, North
Yeah.
Atlantic Treaty Organization. That's actually what NATO stands
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
And
So yeah, like they've been investigated by French the authorities in Belgium.
Belgian authority.
So yeah,
So the reason they're being investigated. Sorry, just a second. The reason they're being investigated, interestingly enough, is for the procurement of defense contracts, which is a bit shady. So they've been giving defense contracts, military contracts under the table to certain people. So apparently a bit shady there. But again, this is what I'm talking about. Like, what do you expect? This stuff goes on all the time. And
that's
we just
crazy.
covered not too long ago about we just covered not too long ago about how the EU was not transparent enough with its where it was with its funding to NGOs, and that they were called into question and they're still investigating that. Well, now you got this. This is not a good look,
It's like
and
never
it's
ending, this thing.
right.
And these
This
are
is
like massive organizations that are meant to be
yes,
like part of the governments. These are like official guys who do deals. Like them being
yeah,
arrested is just on another level. This is not your
and
everyday weapons dealer on the road. These are massive like contractors.
yeah, exactly. And
If you've seen
my,
Lord of War with
my
Nicolas
voice okay?
Cage, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and this is the trouble because all these institutions that people used to believe in, then they used to just think were stand up. Well, no, they have never been. By the way, in my opinion, there's always been shady practices going on. It's always been, this has always been my thought about it. Like I never have trusted a lot of institutions or major organizations or corporations because I know that there's always a lot of shady business that goes behind closed doors. I've seen this type of stuff myself, unfortunately. So this corruption it's good that it's coming to surface because again, like I was saying not too long ago, people are getting fed up with everything. They're just tired, and now at least it's coming to surface more and more how things are not as transparent
Yeah.
as they are, and now hopefully to those who have cognitive dissonance, they're seeing now that it's not as black and white, because there's this whole mentality where it's like, well, NATO can do no wrong. Wah, wrong. They have been doing wrong, and they're just as guilty as the people that you want to
Yeah.
blame for everything else as well. You see, the reality in politics is this, in my view, right? There's never a good side. Politics is dirty, and the
Yeah.
military is even dirtier.
Dirty business.
You got politics,
Like
and then you got the
never
military.
disregard also the people pointing the fingers all everywhere,
Yeah,
because they should be held accountable just as much as everyone else. Like
yeah. So like, That's what I'm saying. If politics is dirty, the military is dirtier. It's always been like this. That is the case. So
Yeah.
there's not too much information that has come out. Wait, let me have a look. Which one? Which one is this? Is the Euro
This is
Active article, right?
Euroactive.
Which one
And
is
they're
that one?
talking about investigations on deals for
Yeah,
drones and ammunition.
yeah. So this is like arms deals that have been going under the table, which is basically the black market, which is what happens. Uh, I mean,
Look at
we
these
have
deals, like 5.5 billion deals for several countries to purchase
so
1,000 Patriot
the
missiles.
investigation concerns possible irregularities in awarding contracts to defense contractors for the purchase of military equipment for NATO, such as ammunition and drones. While NSPA, the NSPA is the NATO Support and Procurement Agency, has long worked in the shadows. The agency, well, that's not good. The agency employs 1,500 and has received increased publicity over recent months, obviously due to the current conflict, including through a 5.5 billion euro deal for several countries to purchase 1,000 US made Patriot missiles. That was that whole big
Yeah,
debacle previously where they sold off those missiles. It was for Ukraine. So there's a lot of
but a shady business. They say it themselves. NSPA has long worked in the shadows.
2 people were arrested in Belgium and questioned by the police. The prosecutor's office stated the police issued an arrest warrant against one person and released the other. I mean, I'm sorry to say, but I'm reading this off the article. But the problem is that
Yeah.
that's no info. It's like one person was arrested, and then that person is,
It's like,
and the problem
surely
is
there's a lot more involved. Like,
but you can't even say who the person is or what their title or role is. So it's just one person was
nothing.
arrested. That's
can't
it.
even interrogate them.
Another 3
Just a
people
guy
were
off the
arrested
street.
by the. So it says here as well. Another 3 people were arrested by the Dutch public prosecution, as statement said. One former Dutch Defense Ministry employee responsible for international purchase contracts was arrested on corruption charges.
Here we're
So
talking
there's
about
really
NATO, like in Brussels. Like, is it Brussels? It's in Belgium.
well, they have headquarters. They have different headquarters, but yeah, they're
Yeah,
I think the main headquarters is actually the main NATO headquarters is in Belgium, Brussels.
Okay.
I'm just confirming that. Yes, Brussels, Belgium. It's the main NATO headquarters.
Yeah, it's a huge building, right?
I mean, Brussels is kind of like the capital.
had a
Sorry,
new one
Belgium is the
recently.
capital of Europe, technically. So then any administration for the European Union or any sort of international organizations will be based in Brussels. But yeah, this is very interesting because this beggars the question as to, well, what's really going on then? And perhaps maybe there's more rhyme and reason to why the Russians don't trust the Western alliances, or sorry, Western alliance. I'm thinking Star Wars now. Western forces and the Western forces and NATO. You know, it's not.
Yeah.
The problem is if you want to play ball, you've got to also you have to also bring your game. And if you're not playing right, and no one's been playing right since the start. Let's be honest. Then no one wins in the end. There's no winner. It's just it's a zero-sum game basically, and this is the trouble right now. So I don't really know what'll happen. But yeah, we can see that now we're seeing the build up of a EU defense. Lots of money being funneled there. Again, how transparent are they going to be, especially in the already with the previous scandal? I wonder what really the people think about that. What the regular average European citizen is going to think, especially when they're struggling with electricity bills and so forth. And then on top of that, you got this NATO scandal. And then we also have the fact that we don't have any, resolved peace with the whole Ukraine-Russian situation.
Yeah, it's been going on for a while.
It just feels like on the horizon, things aren't really. I mean, I don't want to be negative, but it's just like it just doesn't feel like things are really working out towards a culmination of that's going to be in the interest of everyone, but maybe only in the interest of very few individuals, and that's the problem.
This is ENDtv.